Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Manu Issue ACCA classes. So in this video, we will be learning more about the allowable deduction that we can deduct from against the employment income and what are the exempt benefit and approved mileage allowance. So these are the things we are covering in the today video, right? So let's start from the travel and workplace expenses. So before that, if you are watching my video for the first time, do not forget to subscribe my channel and share it among your friends. In case you have missed out my previous video, you can still access from my YouTube playlist, or the link of the same will be reflected on the right hand side of your screen. Right? Okay, fine. So let's start our today topic, allowable deduction. So now let's talk about qualifying travel expense. So if you are like traveling from the home to office and office to home, and the office is your permanent workplace, then whatever the expense you are incurred in regard of travel is not allowable expense. Okay, so this is especially called as normal commuting. You can't claim as the deductible expense. But if you are travel to the temporary workplace, and the temporary workplace means like the place you have been work or you have been assigned less than 24 months, in that case it will be deductible. But if it is a permanent workplace, in that case it will not be allowable, right? And other like your allowable expense are, we will come to the mileage later on. Let's talk about the other deductible expense like professional fees and subscription. So if any fees or subscription paid to the professional body, that are again allowable, but it should be related to the employment. In that case it is allowable expense. So any payroll deduction donation to the charity under the gift aid scheme, it is also an allowable expense. And okay, in case of you are making a contribution to the occupational pension scheme, I have also explained this thing in the pension video, that if employee is contributing to the employer pension scheme, so called occupational pension scheme, then it is a allowable expense and we can deduct it against our employment income. So if other allowable expense is that if employee is using any equipment in employment, and the employee can claim a capital allowance on the equipment used for the work. Okay, and other expense is the cost of any shares required in an approved share incentive plan. In coming a video, we will learn about the approved incentive plan, share incentive plan. But if any cost incurred for the to acquire those share, it is again allowable expense, and you can deduct it against from the employment income. Okay, so this is all about the certain expense I have been mentioned, which are allowable expense from the employment income. And what are those? The first one is that if you are traveling your traveling expense for the temporary workplace, okay. And other was the fee and subscription paid for the to the professional body if it is related to the employment. And the third one is the gift aid donation under the payroll deduction scheme. And fourth one is the payment to charity under the payroll deduction scheme. And fifth one is cost incurred for the acquiring any share under the approved share incentive plan. And sixth is contribution to occupational pension scheme. And last is the capital allowance, like if your employee is using any equipment in the work, then they can also claim the capital allowance. And these are all the deductible expense, few deductible expense which we can deduct it against the employment income. Right, now let's talk about the approved mileage allowance. Again, this is very important and quite confusing little bit. Okay, so if employee is using a personal vehicles during their work for their work, in that case they can claim a mileage allowance from the employer. An employer can pay a tax-free approved mileage allowance if employee is using the personal vehicles or car for their work. And what is the approved mileage allowance? So a government has said if the employee is using car and van up to 10,000, they can claim 0.45 pound per mile, and above 10,000 they can claim 0.25 pound per mile. And if they are using the motorcycle, in that case 0.24 pound per mile, and if the cycle, in that case 0.20 per mile. Now passenger allowance, I think most of them don't know about this, but there is a passenger allowance as well. Like if you are carrying other employee in your van or car, then you can claim 0.5 pence 5 pence per mile as a mileage allowance. Okay. So now one thing what you have to remember is amount up to approved mileage allowance is exempt, but excess amount paid by employer above, like suppose you are using your car and the approved mileage allowance is 0.45 pound per mile, right? Pence per mile. So if your employer pay 50 pence instead of 45 pence, in that case excess 5 pence will be taxable. But if they pay less, in that case it is allowable deduction. Okay, so this is all about the approved mileage allowance. And for the passenger allowance, one more thing that you need to remember is that for passenger allowance, allowable deduction is not allowed in case of less than 5 pence per mile is paid by employer. And if above 5 pence per mile, then it will be taxable benefit in kind on the amount above 5 pence. But if it is less, then it is not allowable deduction. Okay, so this is for the your all about the this is all about their allowable deduction and the approved mileage allowance. In case of any confusion, do not forget to comment me on comment box, so I will help you guys to clear your doubt. Okay, moving forward, let's learn about the exempt benefit as well. So there are few exempt benefit. So what are those? Let's learn about. I have listed the few, but there are many more that you must need to know. Okay. uh okay, so parking space, the free parking at the near workplace is exempt. Okay, Christmas child care voucher, in case if workplace child, if you employer provide the child care at the workplace or sport or recreation facilities, in that case it will also be exempt. And in case of the child care voucher they are paying, in that case up for basic rate taxpayer 55 pound per week will be exempt, and for higher rate taxpayer 28 pound per week will be exempt, and for additional rate taxpayer 25 pound per week will be exempt. Okay. Okay, then we have next. Okay, Christmas party up to 150 per annum per head. If employer incurs up to 150 pound per annum per head, then it will be exempt. And Christmas party or annual dinner dance for the staff. Okay, this expense will be covered by this amount. Extra this 150 amount. Okay, in case of mobile phone, if employer provide mobile phone to the employee, in that case one mobile phone is exempt. The provision of one mobile phone is including the balance is exempt. And employer contribution in the any of the pension plan is exempt. Okay, in case of you are like a long service award, okay, so like you have been working for 20 plus years of service, and in case of award given to you, then 50 per employee, I mean per year, will be exempt. Okay, So like if you have been given gold watch as a long service award, and the amount should be up to £50 for each year of service for 20 years or more, okay, then it is exempt. Okay, then relocation cost up to 8,000, it is exempt. Okay, then next we have welfare counseling. It is exempt if it is available to the all the employee. Okay, and next we have a health insurance, like premium for death in service or permanent health insurance are exempt. Okay, scholarship exempt if it is paid to employee, and taxable if it is given to the family member. Okay, so these are the few lists I have been made. There are many more, like a free or subsidized meal at on-site canteen or restaurant if available to all the employee, then it is also exempt. Okay, and then we have entertainment to employee by reason of employment by third party, example ticket at a sport or cultural event, that it is also exempt. Okay, and gift received by reason of his employment from the third party, and provided that the cost of any one source does not exceed 250 in tax year, it is also exempt. Okay, and if you are working from home, then the home worker additional household expense up to 6 per week can be paid tax free without any evidence. Okay, and then we have a travel benefit which do not cost more than 50 per employee, and these are not cash or voucher, then it's also exempt. Cost of the work related training course, it is also exempt. There are many more lists, and I think in Kaplan book of F6 there are, I think, 2 to 3 pages detail given. So I must say, just read it once so that you will have a rough idea of what are the exempt benefit that will be not be taxable in case of the employment. Okay, so in this video we covered about the allowable deduction, approved mileage allowance, and exempt benefits. So in coming up video we will be learning more about the taxable benefit one by one. So tab tak ke liye stay tuned, and do not forget to subscribe my channel and share it among your friends.